Earlier this week, my next guest, Diana Moreno, won the special election to replace Zohran Mamdani in the state assembly. Moreno was endorsed by the mayor and fended off two challengers who ran as independent candidates. The 36th State Assembly District covers much of Astoria and Long Island City in western Queens. And Diana Moreno joins me now to talk about her plans for office and much more. Welcome to the program and congratulations. You won with 74% of the vote, I should note. And you've already been sworn in.
We sure have.
Yeah, you've already been on the job, as a matter of fact, up in Albany this week.
It's been a whirlwind of a week, absolutely.
Yeah. So, for our viewers who may not know much about you or anything about you, just talk a little bit about your background. I should mention you have long been active in the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, but this was your first time running for office, right?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I'm an immigrant from Ecuador. I was born in Ecuador. Like 38% of our district was not born in the United States. And yes, I've been politically involved mostly within New York City DSA since 2019, and it's really how I became involved in electoral politics, from Bernie 2020 to Tiffany Caban, Kristen Gonzalez, and Assemblymember Mamdani, now Mayor Mamdani, and now here I am. But it certainly was not in my 5-year plan to run for office.
Right. So this race, I think, got a fair amount of attention. I mean, first because you are filling the seat that was held by Zohran Mamdani, but also because you had the support of Mayor Mamdani. Talk a little bit about your relationship, because you've known him from back before he was even in the state assembly, right? Where did you guys first get to know each other?
So we actually got to know each other after a DSA meeting, right? Just kind of like, oh, let's go grab a beer after the meeting. And this really nice young guy wanted to organize this new looking girl, into the organization. Just talk to me a little bit about, hey, this is how DSA works. This is what we're doing. I think we were working on Tiffany Caban's council race at the time, got me involved in that. And I just knew him as an organizer, a fellow organizer. And later on, I was volunteering for him throughout the pandemic in his assembly race, eventually volunteering for him to run for mayor.
Right, you were on board early on with his run for
was.
mayor, even when it still seemed a little delusional that he might actually have a chance in this thing. So let me ask you this. He endorsed you. He recorded a video with you that we were just showing a little bit of. What kind of difference did that make in this race? Like, when you're out talking to voters in the district, does that come up? Does that make an impression?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it makes a huge difference. And I think that's really the campaign that we run on, because I talked about not running as an individual, but running as part of a movement, the same movement that brought Mayor Mamdani to City Hall. And that was really true for me. And it really made a difference in a district that voted 81% for him to be mayor. And so it definitely made a difference to our community to understand that we had his support, because I would be pushing for the same priorities, like taxing the rich, like passing universal childcare, and that's what I'm dedicated to do in Albany.
Let me ask you about Governor Hochul. Mamdani officially endorsed Governor Hochul this week, but then today the DSA put out a statement that was fairly critical, I would say, of Kathy Hochul. It said, DSA does not believe that she's risen to meet the moment. She has consistently sided with her billionaire donors while offering working class New Yorkers crumbs. So where do you stand? Do you support Governor Hochul?
I think that we have a lot of work to do, and that's why I'm so excited that I am able to jump in on day one, literally day one after my election victory, to push Governor Hochul and organize our colleagues to tax the rich. I mean, we must do it. It is under the Trump administration, we have lost billions of dollars. He's targeted states like New York and will continue to do so. And we absolutely have to keep pushing her to deliver on delivering more resources to our state.
Yeah, I mean, where does this debate go? Because we know it's a priority of the mayors, but Governor Hochul has been pretty adamant that that's sort of a bright line for her, and she will not raise taxes, at least raise personal income taxes on the wealthy. So where does this go? Where does this end up?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you would have told me a couple years ago, was universal childcare something that was achievable, I would have been like, it seems like a sort of a pie in the sky, which is what a lot of people called Zohran's campaign to begin with. But what we do is we organize, right? Like DSA members and DSA electeds know that the power really is on the streets with constituents that are really well organized, knocking doors if necessary to push New Yorkers to call on their constituents to really get the governor to tax the rich, to really pass those bills that maybe seem unachievable. But this is really the moment to meet that demand. And I feel the same way about how we have to meet the needs of our immigrant New Yorkers right now and really push to protect them.
So what are some of the other priorities? I mean, you mentioned immigrant issues. What are some of the other priorities legislatively that you'll be pursuing in Albany now that you're in the Assembly?
Yeah, so my first bill that I signed on to was New York for All. And this is to end the collaboration between law enforcement at the state level and ICE, a lawless agency that has shown no regard for the law and no interest in our public safety. And so we must pass New York for All. I'm really excited that, again, now I'm officially co-sponsor of that bill. And there's plenty of other legislative bills that I'm ready to sign on to, like the MELT Act, the right to representation, that we must also push to pass, because immigrants right now are living in fear. We are seeing the abuse of their human rights. We are seeing the breaking of New York laws by ICE agents, and we have the responsibility to stop it.
And where do you see things going with the DSA? I mean, obviously, DSA is kind of riding a wave of momentum after the Mamdani win and has been electing members to all levels of government. What's next for the DSA?
What's next is what we do best, which is continue organizing, right? And riding that wave of the mandate of affordability, and also ensuring that we're fighting back against the rising tide of fascism that we're seeing from the Trump administration. And the way we do that is by bringing neighbors into the process of democracy, small d democracy, which means talking to our neighbors, engaging in meetings, being involved in canvasses to tax the rich and other things. We're gonna continue growing, and we're gonna continue exerting our influence, because it's really the way forward for democracy in New York and in the country.
Well, we are going to leave it there. Assemblywoman Diana Moreno, congratulations again. You've got a busy few months ahead of you, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, a pleasure.
All right.